Hey Uconn Nation, it's KK Arnold here. If you're looking for the latest Uconn women's basketball content, go subscribe to listen up to Phil and Ryan. Go Huskies!
Thank you, KK. It's Phil and Ryan on Listen Up. And Ryan, this episode, we're going to break down the unofficial first game for the Uconn Huskies. Can't wait to see what everybody has to say about this one. Even though it's unofficial, Ryan, drop your comments in the section below in this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Ryan, shout out to Emily again for coming on with us. I know we had an incredible time. We had fun with her. We hope to have her back on Listen Up next year after the season concludes. But for now, Rob, we're going to jump over to CT Insider. Shout out to Maggie Vanoni again, incredible staff writer for CT Insider. It says the defending national champions are unofficially back in action. UConn women's basketball defeated Boston College 84 to 67 in a preseason exhibition game Monday afternoon in front of a crowd of 6,012. Now, Ryan, if you ask me, that's a pretty good attendance for a preseason game. And to be honest with you, I'm just excited to be back alongside of you. That's right, you talking about basketball, even though, again, I'll say the third time, it's unofficial.
Yeah, it's good to be back on for the first unofficial recap of the season. And yeah, it's fun to be recapping some of these games. Of course, we still got one more exhibition game about 12 days away now on the 26th, I believe. So still one more tune-up game before we get into the official regular season start. But yeah, I think this is a pretty solid first game for the Huskies. I think the starting lineup, the first unofficial starting five of the season, AZKK, Ashlyn, Sarah, and Sarah. I think the starting five kind of was to be expected. I'm glad Ashlyn Shade is completely healthy now, and I think we can expect to see that starting five for most, if not all season long, if indeed all five of those players do stay healthy. I thought UConn had a good start to the game. It was both Sarah's getting involved early, and I have a feeling we're going to be saying that a lot this year with both
Yeah.
Sarah's dominating. Sarah Williams, she looked fairly comfortable out there as this her first game in a UConn jersey. Sarah Strong, AZ Fudd, they got some early buckets. Kaylee Heckel, Belanca Quinonez, and Ice Brady were the first subs off the bench for the Huskies. I think that's kind of to be expected too. I expect Kaylee Heckel, Ice Brady to get a good amount of minutes. Ayanna Patterson came in as well. I'm also expecting her to get a decent amount of minutes, but of course it's really good to see Ayanna back out there after missing pretty much 2 years straight of action for the Huskies. But the defense looked great. I think the whole day today created a lot of pressure on Boston College. But I think overall the first half was good for UConn, a little sloppy at times, but I think that's to be expected for the first game of the year. Three-pointers weren't really falling for UConn in the first half, but in the third quarter, AZ Fudd drilled five three-pointers, putting her at 20 points. That's what she ended with for the game, and that gave UConn a pretty sizable lead. I really like the ball movement as well for the whole game today. You can really tell the chemistry is already there for this team. And UConn's big three led the way. Like I said, AZ had 20 points, Strong with 17, Williams with 15. And like you said, Huskies won 84-67, and pretty solid first game for the Huskies. Of course, like I said, they get one more tune up before the regular season starts, but I think everybody played pretty solid today. Subs that came off the bench looked pretty good. Defense looked great as always, and I think that's going to lead the way for most of these games like we normally see for a lot of these games in the regular season. And I kind of expect that big three to lead the way for UConn most of the night with both Sarah's and AZ. But I think all in all, it's definitely a great starting point for this team. And, we'll have to see in 12 days for that next exhibition match before the official start of the regular season.
Oh, you said it well. I appreciate it a lot, Ryan. And we'll go over to this very quickly. We have to shout out to our favorite. We're not supposed to have favorites, but Right. It says CT Insider says even though it was unofficial, the outing marked KK Arnold's first start since her freshman season in 2023-24. So how about that? KK Arnold. But you look, right? I mean, I have to bring this up to you. So you're just telling me, matter of fact, right, that at this point in the young season, unofficial season, it's all about, if you ask me, I think this program under Gino and the way we've seen championships stack, the defending national champions are back, right? Back in action. It's kind of about winning too, even though these games are unofficial. Now, maybe I'm mistaken, but I think that's what you're out there, you're coaching for, right? You had that in the back of your mind, you want to win, but at the same time, was it mission accomplished for you? Even if it was a loss, I'll just put it that way. Even if it was a loss, was it still a great night because all the Huskies saw the floor, minus Morgan Shelley with that, what, with the ankle, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was mission successful. I think obviously UConn, even though the games don't count towards the record, are expected to win these games by a pretty sizable lead. As I'd say that the competition definitely isn't up to the level that the Huskies play at. But I think the pace for the Huskies look pretty good. We always see them run the floor very well, and that's usually how they beat a lot of these teams, is just outpacing them, creating those turnovers and then running with the ball. And of course, like I mentioned, creating a lot of pressure on defense. So I think those two things, we almost see that every single game kind of lead the way for this team. And that eventually gets the offense rolling. And I think that's going to be great as well for AZ Fudd. Kind of talked about her maybe being a more consistent scorer throughout all four quarters, but if
Mhm.
she can hit five threes in any quarter throughout the season, that's always going to be great for the Huskies, especially coming out of the first half like that. If AZ Fudd can stay hot like that in any half, that's going to be a great way to get the UConn offense rolling.
All right, Rye. And again, I want to shout out to Emily Adams for coming on with us, Rye. It looks like that they came through very well, and I know you had a big thanks for her on your behalf. So on my behalf, thank you, Emily Adams, again. What an incredible staff writer, an incredible sports writer she is, Rye. And again, we hopefully, we can catch up with her again next year.
Yeah, I can't thank her enough for coming on with us. I had a blast being able to sit down on here and talk to her. And I hope all of you guys enjoyed that interview as well. I think she did a great job. And yeah, hopefully we get to have her back on sometime after the season or maybe before the new season next year. So yeah, I had a blast with that interview.
So you're going to love this comment. It's going to make you smile a lot. We discussed it. You have to tell our subs, everybody watching this. Again, we love you all. We appreciate you all a lot. Ryan, you have to tell them what we discussed because the disruptive one says, Phil and Ryan, we need that starters prediction video before the Boston College game. They didn't forget, Ryan, about the list check-ins.
Yeah, I think we were debating whether to do it before the exhibition matchups or just wait until the regular season. I suppose we could still have one before the regular season, but I think we kind of discussed it on there with Emily about the starting lineup. But I think, like I said, the starting five that was out there today, KK, Ash, both Sarahs and AZ, I think that's the most likely starting five for most of the season, I would say.
All right, so yeah, he's talking about starting five. I thought he meant the last check-in, but last check-ins are coming, right? During the regular season, you told me. How about Michael Lawson says, as great interview with Emily. I have no qualms with this interview. Hopefully, there will be other interviews in the future. Yeah, we talk about it all the time, Ryan. We're trying our best. You know, you have to really pull the strings, but hopefully one of these days they're just coming in nonstop, right? And we're not afraid to admit it. We think it's coming. You said Phil, I think it's coming.
But yeah, I hope so. And yeah, I don't know if we want to keep it a secret or spoil, but we do have two interviews coming up
Big
pretty
ones.
soon in
Yep.
about a
Yep.
week and a half. So
Mhm.
there's two more coming before the regular season starts.
And oh boy, will they love to see them two interviews. Joseph Patty says that's not true. South Carolina is ducking UConn. We would beat them by 30 points again. Said the truth. So right, if I remember right, now again, I don't want to be mistaken here, but didn't Emily say possibility? And then she had UConn, or excuse me, South Carolina as number one going into this season, did she not? But I mean, Joseph says UConn would just blow them away.
Well, I certainly like the mentality. I like the way you think. Yeah, I would hope that would be the score line if they did meet in the regular season. I did see the other, I think it might have been yesterday, that Chloe Kitts, senior forward for the Gamecocks, is out for the year. I believe she tore her ACL, so that's obviously a pretty big blow for South Carolina. I think they should probably be able to manage pretty well. Obviously, they're always a pretty deep team, but certainly somebody like Chloe Kitts' stature, it's definitely going to affect them a little bit with her being out for the whole entire season. So obviously, she was expected to be first round draft pick, so I'd assume she comes back next year. She's able to return from that for next season and play in another year for South Carolina. But like I said, hopefully UConn and South Carolina can meet in March Madness again.
How about Jason D'Amico, right? He said, great episode. Emily is definitely in the know. It's almost that time. Peace. And then I'll give you one more. User said, great episode. I love watching this channel. I'm not sure we are giving Sarah Williams enough credit to fit in and be a starter. Caitlin came in last year and started. No, they aren't the same, but you think she will fit in perfectly.
Yeah, it always seems like Gino and the coaching staff find somebody either in the transfer portal or a new recruit, but it seems like the last 4 years or so they find a perfect fit out of the transfer portal. Of course, there was Dorka Juhas, Lou Lopez, then we had Caitlin Chen, and now Sarah Williams. So, and I think Williams looked very comfortable, confident out there today, like I mentioned. There was some questions during the all season about how she would fit in. Just her getting used to that system after playing with Wisconsin for 3 seasons, but fourth year for her, senior year, final year with UConn. I'd say she looked pretty good out there today with the rest of her teammates. So hopefully that's a trend for a lot of the year. And yeah, I would expect her to be out there in that starting lineup alongside Sarah back in that front court. So yeah, I think Sarah Williams is going to be a huge player for the team this year.
One more, just me said, yet another great listen up. I have watched Emily Adams on other shows. She is excellent and has tons of women's basketball knowledge. Great guest. Thanks for the show, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, Emily was a great guest. She definitely knows her stuff. She knows what she's talking about. So it's definitely good for her to come on here and for us to talk to her. And yeah, I think it was a great interview. And like we said, hopefully we can have her back on in about a year's time or maybe a little bit sooner.
All right, Ryan, we'll leave it off right there. And don't forget the Huskies will get one more preseason game, right, Ryan, when they host Southern Connecticut on October 26th at, I didn't realize this, right? I thought they just changed the name, but Ryan, according to CT, it says at the newly renovated People's Bank Arena. So, Rye, I think that calls for another trip. I'll be calling you soon for some plane tickets and a hotel room.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, we'll definitely have to get down there sometime. But yeah, it should be interesting to see what the new arena looks like, and we'll definitely have to remember that for the regular season to call it People's Bank Arena.
All right, Rye. I'll go ahead and I'll stop bothering you right there. I can tell you're not about that cold weather. You still had to think about it for a second, but we'll leave it off right there. And hopefully we will have some more episodes between now and then the next and final preseason game. Rye, here's to a great week and a weekend. Phil and Rye will listen up.